Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to the Gaunt podcast. Today, I'm asking the question and I'm making the statement that Starmer is turning the UK into a dictatorship and we're letting it happen. We don't realise the way he's going about it. And so my final question of the day will be, how can we stop him? If you've got a view, I want to hear it. Write it up in the comments box. It's as simple as that. But in my view, Keir Starmer is turning this country, the United Kingdom, into and running it like with the mindset of a dictator. Let's look at the facts. Free speech is clearly under attack. Social media control is tightening. There's a kind of fear factor. Now Ofcom wants to run the bloody internet. Institutions, the police, the social services, schools, further education, the health service have all been captured by the cultural Marxists. Then let's add in the fact that he's delayed or postponed elections, local elections. The whole idea of citizenship and your rights under citizenship and your right to have a view. No taxation without representation. Do you know that one, Keir? And also we've got a government that refuses to listen to anyone who challenges their woke Marxist narrative. He is driving us off a cliff. The row about Rachel Reeves is all part of it. Of course she's an incompetent. Like all great dictators, they surround themselves with arseholes so that no one can challenge them. That's what he's done. That's why David Lammy's there. That's why Rachel Reeves is there. That's why Cruella de Vil, whatever her bloody name is, the education secretary, is there. This is not incompetence. This is what I've been thinking about all weekend. And I've been mentioning it for the last couple of weeks. It's not incompetence. He's a bright bloke. It's deliberate. And this is a project. Let's look at some more evidence. Flood the UK with illegals. Don't stop them, even though it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 to stop them. Put the Navy in the Channel, the Army on the beach, secure detention and deport before their flip-flops hit the sand. It's a project. He is flooding the UK with illegals. He is undermining our national morale. Perhaps that's why he wants to send our boys to die in Ukraine. That would actually help him. We'd get even more pissed off, wouldn't we? He's trying to divide communities. He's using illegal immigration. Let's face it, they've got no right to be here. He's the one who mixes it in with legal or mixes it in with saying it's far right to say you're against illegal immigration. I'm dead set against it, but I'm not far right. I believe well-controlled managed immigration has been brilliant for the country, and so do most people. But Keir, the cultural Marxist, he's decided that's a weapon to beat us down with. The same with the flag. That's why they're anti the flag. Do you see how this works? See what they're up to? So they divide communities because what they basically say is anybody who puts up a flag, well, they're far right and they're white, when clearly they're not. Lots of white, black people, Asian people are doing it as well. British people. We're not the racists. The racists are the cultural Marxists in Labour. They silence dissent. Look how they're doing it. You've only got to say some hurty words on Facebook or Twitter, and they try and close you down. There's a brilliant example of that this morning. A British guy posted a photo, I'm reading this off my phone, posted a photo of him holding a shotgun whilst on holiday in Florida on a range. When he returned home, the UK police arrested him. They seized his devices. They put him in jail in a police cell overnight for violating the 1986 Public Order Act, which last time I looked doesn't apply to the United States of America, obviously. The next day they let him out because they then said, oh, okay, we accept that was in Florida. The process, my friends, was the punishment. This is cultural Marxism at work. It's silencing dissent. So it's when, like, you say, I don't want my kid to learn about that. I don't want them to have sex education. I don't want them to have stories read by trans activists. You are then shut down. You are the enemy. So there's silence in dissent, and it's happened. People are scared shitless to actually say what they think anymore. Had an email from a lady who supports me saying, John, you say what we all think. Well, what a great shame that we can't all say what we think. But I understand why you'd be worried if you had a normal job and a mortgage, etc. I've lost everything, so in a way it don't really matter. And then finally, part of this plan is surrounding himself with weak yes men and women to protect his position. Oh, what a surprise that he knew about the OBR report, and he still allowed Rachel Reeves to lie and basically say to us all, oh, you've got to pay more tax. It's all about the NHS, and with 20 billion or however many squillion it is missing, when it was really to pay for benefits and to pay for the illegals who are getting into our country still because he doesn't want to stop them. Are you following my logic in all of this? I really hope you are, because I've been thinking long and hard about it, and we're being sold an absolute pulp, my friends. It's disgraceful what is going on. If you can see what's happening, give me your comments in the comment box. This is an extra show. I just couldn't hold on to this till tomorrow because it just all clicked for me. Is it clicking for you? If you can see what's happening, tell me. Or if you're just only waking up, which I guess is what I'm doing, tell me. Because everything I've just described is how authoritarian leaders behave. And I, for one, believe that Britain and the United Kingdom deserves better. Keir Starmer is trying to be the dictator. The Labour Party are captured. Free speech is being closed down. Social media, they now want to control. UK politics is beneath the gutter. Rachel does a budget in which she completely lies. And you know what? She's getting away with it. Go and have a look at Twitter. Go and have a look at the nonsense on Facebook. People actually believe she's the one who's been done wrong by. They believe that Kemi Badenoch should not have picked on her. Today, Laura Kunsberg was somehow beating her up, they say. What are they on about? She's the villain. She's so thick, she can't see it. She's being used by Starmer or somebody behind Starmer. Look, there he is over my shoulder. I'm saying we're hurtling towards a dictatorship. We've got to stand up now. I'm coming to your comments in a moment. Keep them coming in. This is going to be a humdinger of a show. This is the John Gaunt podcast. It's live and unleashed, and I want your views as well. But let's just go through some more of the evidence, if you don't mind. I just made a list on my phone. I'm just going to read out this list and elaborate on it, and then I want your views. It's in no particular order, but this is how I believe the cultural Marxism policy is being enacted. And I'll tell you what the ultimate aim is. The ultimate aim is to get us back in the EU, either by the back door, which he likes, or the front door. I say Starmer is leading us into a dictatorship. Look at the way he treats Parliament. He doesn't give a shit about Parliament. When he does Prime Minister's questions, he doesn't answer the questions. And as for bullying, if that's what you think Kemi did last week, what about the way he bullies her every single Wednesday. He never answers a question. Smug, smart-ass, twat. That's what he is. So that's Prime Minister's questions. But then, like, when they're meant to take things, and they got reprimanded for it last week, there was more leaks. I've made this joke before. I'll make it again. More leaks about the budget than a Max Boyce reunion concert. And then, of course, the OBR, the Office for Budget Responsibility, they released the whole budget before she spoke. They've got zero regard for our democracy. Why? Because they're cultural Marxists. They're trying to wreck our country. They're trying to change it into something. They've captured everything. That bloke I've just told you about in Southport, not in Southport, sorry, who came back from holiday, had a pit. God's sake, when I went across Route 66, we went to a firing range. I had to go with one of those pump action shotguns. It scared the shit out of me. I never want to do it again, but it was interesting to do it. I've got photos on my phone. Am I going to get arrested? It's also echoes, isn't it, of Graham Linehan. Dares to say something about trans, but he was in the States. They arrest him. Unbelievable. It really is. Let's look at the arrests after Southport. Nutcase goes mental and kills 3 little girls. Starmer doesn't tell us that he knows it's not a recent arrival. He lets the riots happen. He leaves a vacuum, an information vacuum. Do you think that was a mistake? No. These things are deliberate. He wanted a position just into his premiership where he could say, see, the white working class, they're all far-right thugs. Well, I'm not a far-right thug, and I resent him classifying white patriots in that way. But that's what he did, and he thought the country would be with him. But, of course, most of the country saw straight through it, starting with those ladies in Southport when they called him a wanker, and he ran away. He got back into his bulletproof Range Rover and drove away. He wants to be Kim Rongan. He wants to be a dictator. What do you think these little poxy videos are, where it's like he's on the planet delusion? He tells us everything's great. It's like Rachel Reeves. I watched her on telly this morning. She thinks her budget's fine. She doesn't think she's done anything wrong. What? Robbing all the people who work to pay for scroungers, for the foreign, the feckless, the freeloaders. Oh, that's fair, Rachel. Thanks. Please do it again. Pass me the horsehair shirt and we'll start whipping ourselves. But it's not an accident. That's the realization I've come to. Tell me if I'm wrong. This is deliberate. Deliberate. What about the farmers handcuffed in Westminster for daring to drive their tractors into town and protest about the budget? Farmers, the very people who provide our food. According to Keir Starmer, they're the enemy, not the people arriving at Dover. No, they've got hot and cold running benefits. They've got 4-star hotels. They've got squeezy soap. What have we got? Fuck all. That's what's going on. It's not an accident. It's not a mistake. He's an intelligent man. It's by design. He's trying to demoralise us, and he's almost succeeding. Then he does his little videos, and everything is great in North Korea. Sorry, the United Kingdom. What about his total disregard for any of the manifesto pledges or promises? He tried to screw over the pensioners. That's how low he is. He's a liar. Forget about Rachel Reeves. Of course, she's a liar too. But the whole project has been a lie. Grab power. They've already got the power in the police. That's why you've got the police with rainbow shoelaces dancing with Greenpeace activists and on skateboards rather than arresting them. That's why you've got 2-tier policing. They've already captured the courts. But now they'll go a step further because David Lammy wants to get rid of juries for certain trials. It's disgraceful. Deal with the padlock. Make the backlog. Make the bewigged buffoons work at the weekends. Make them work overnight. I don't give a shit. But if I'm arrested for something, we need 12 good men and true. My peers to, or women, I'm doing it now. My peers to judge me, not a judge. What, you think it'd be okay with judges to get through the backlog? Huh, that's how we ended up with decisions like the Bell Hotel in Epping, where they decided the rights of the flip-flop warriors comes over and above the rights of British people who have been paying their tax and their council taxes, and then to rub it in, they use your money to fund the court case. Are you seeing the picture now? Demoralise, depress, and ultimately defeat the patriots of this country. I am so angry about this. Rachel Reeves thought nothing about lying in the budget. Oh, we got no money. Oh, it's terrible. We're going to have to raise taxes to pay for Benefit Street. Don't get me wrong, I'm not against benefits. I'm not against kids having a meal. But if I hear that bullshit about, oh, I'm really proud that there's 500,000 children who aren't going to go hungry today. Do you really think that's where the money's going to go? You don't take this, do you? It's nonsense. Absolute and utter nonsense. There's an elite led by our supreme leader, Keir Starmer, who's not even got the bottle. He makes decisions and he does things and then he disappears. Lord Mandelson, he's been abroad 40 times. He has more foreign trips than Judith Chalmers. He's got more air miles than Richard Branson. By the way, sorry to hear about his wife passing away. I like Branson. But anyway, you see my point here? You see what's going on? Demoralise, depress, and defeat. And they've even got their 5-year plans. He's even saying, I want to be in charge for 10 years. Lammy, getting rid of the trials. I've already spoken about that. The way that Starmer just ignores or writes off anybody's opinion on illegal immigration as if we are far-right fascists. He's the one who mixes illegal with legal. Then they put out that stuff last week. Oh, immigration's down. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But not illegal immigration. It's through the roof. And that's what we're worried about. We're not worried about somebody who comes through the proper channels and we know who they are. We're worried about the potential and, in some cases, definite cases of the rapists, the people with a long criminal record, longer than my arm, the terrorists who are coming in on those boats. Keir Starmer hasn't got a clue who's come to Britain. And then there's the attacks on free speech, every opportunity. Let's clamp down on that. Oh, you can't say that. We even make a joke of it. Oh, I can't say that. I'll be up on a charge. Don't we? That's how they've got us. So everybody is self-censoring. When I got the sack from Talk Sport for calling somebody a Nazi and an ignorant pig who didn't want children adopted or fostered by people who smoke, we talked about this a lot with my QC. The whole idea of the chilling effect. And if I'd won that, we wouldn't be in this position now. This is what people forget. You should be able to say what you think. We've got laws. If it's defamatory or slander, you can get done in the courts. If it's racist, that's why we don't need a new definition of Islamophobia. That's a blasphemy law by the back door. We don't need it. But it's all about knocking us down. And it's all about letting these illegals in, especially the illegal immigrants, because they're easy to control, aren't they? They're not going to kick up a fuss. They're going to be shitting themselves. They're going to get found out and chucked out. Well, they won't get chucked out, but you understand where I'm coming from. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. They're easier to control. They're easier to manipulate. And then there's the glorious BBC who helped them win Brexit. And they obviously hope that they'll win the fight over the illegals. Well, I'm afraid they won't, because surely now the BBC is going to be closed down. Although I have got a thought on this. Trevor off Sky News, he did a brilliant interview this morning with Kemi and with Rachel Reeves. Trevor Phillips, He should be in charge of the BBC. He'd shake it up. He'd shake it up. So if we're going to keep the BBC, he's my tip for it. Ofcom, off communists, as somebody calls them. We don't need Ofcom. We've got an off switch. They just want to control you. And that's why they hate Donald Trump, because Donald Trump is giving liberty back to the American people. He's saying, it's your country. Let's make America great again. But over here, anybody who says that, they're tarred immediately. Oh, you're far right. Look at the way Farage is being slandered and defamed at the moment about things he said when he was 13. It's ludicrous. It's madness. But it's all part of the plan. Depress you. Dig you down. Make you say, yeah, I want to leave the country. All of those things. But it's our country. We made this country great. Don't give me this nonsense. The UK was built on immigration. No, it wasn't. That's the States. I'm not saying that immigrants have not helped. Of course they have. Look at the Irish. Look at the people from the Caribbean and how they've made our country better. Look at the fact the health service in Coventry would have collapsed without the doctors from Pakistan. I know that. But what's this latest lot bringing in? Are they rocket scientists? Are they surgeons? No. Most of them aren't even bloody labourers or manual workers. They're not working. They're living on benefits. You can't ignore the data. But again, they do. And then, of course, they've cancelled local elections just in case us plebs dare to begin to criticise. Well, we would, wouldn't we? We're going to be voting reform. So every time they have an election, reform are winning massively. I mean, I know some people are going to Greens and gap-toothed Zach, but let's ignore him for a moment. It's mad. And then they want to divide us. They want to disillusion us. And they then want to try and defeat us. They are cultural Marxists who have already taken over all of education, all of civil society, all of the councils. That's why we got all this woke bollocks, if I'm allowed to use that word anymore. And of course, that's where it's leading, which is choo-choo, the EU gravy train. And then here's a final question, just for you to ponder. I'm coming to your comments now. This is the John Gaunt Show, by the way. If you like what I'm talking about, press the like button and feel free to donate some money if you fancy. But here we are. Why are the Ukraine arsonists, the ones who are alleged to have attacked Keir Starmer's properties and ex-cars, why has their case now been put back even further? They won't actually now be in court before April. That's nearly 2 years after the alleged incidents happened. And where are they? Are they out on bail? No, they're on remand. Oh, isn't that odd? Because if you're on remand, it's pretty impossible to get your story out, isn't it? Unless, of course, you've been put in prison for being an illegal immigrant, then they'll probably let you out by accident. Accidents will happen, as Elvis Costello says. It's a nonsense. It's an absolute nonsense. And the final thing I want to talk to you about, I've been getting increasingly annoyed about it. I use Chat GPT, right? It helps you if you want to tighten up your descriptions for things like this, keywords, etc. But I've noticed a massive change recently. They no longer will allow you to criticize Starmer. Oh, you can't say this, you can't say that. Oh, you can't put that picture in, you can't do this. To which I say, bollocks. I'm a journalist with 30 years experience. All I'm asking you to do is tighten up the grammar. I'm not asking you to tell me the law. And by the way, you're wrong. You can criticize public figures, particularly the Prime Minister. Today, they said, you can't say he's acting like a dictator. This is a computer. I end up roaring with a computer, with AI. Why is it like this? Why is it like it? Because they've been captured as well. So the idea of dissent, the idea of the working class of this country having any real power or say has disappeared. The unions are wrecked. The unions are in disarray. And the Labour Party has obviously been captured by these same people. Are you with me or are you against me? It's absolutely crazy. And it goes beyond religion. It goes beyond people saying, oh, it's the Muslims, it's the Muslims. It isn't. They want you to say things like that. That all helps break it. It's actually people like Starmer. This is a project. They've captured all the major institutions. They've captured them. They've got everybody singing off the same hymn sheet. When even a computer at ChatGPT says, oh, you can't write dictator behind you like I've done on my slide today. Yes, I can. It's called free speech. This is what is happening. And then you wonder why mainstream, lamestream media is so bad, because they've totally given into this. The way they're now trying to spin it, that Kemi's the wrong, she did brilliantly the other day. And also, I'm sorry, I've heard the Labour Party, especially Keir Starmer, be just as personal. Oh, I don't think it should be personal. Oh, no. Oh, no. Why? Because they're saying you're a twat. Is that why? But it's okay for you to do it, is it? Just utter bullshit, utter nonsense. The cultural Marxists are making their play. Right, I'm exhausted. That's 26 minutes of me and my thoughts. Now I want yours. Hundreds of people email, what do you call this? Texting in, and I'm going to read them, and it's going to fuel our debate. Who agrees with me? Or have I suddenly gone conspiracy mad? Maybe I have. Maybe I have. But if you like what I'm talking about, please press the like button. 27 already. That's brilliant. Please also feel free to donate. If you click the $sign on the YouTube video, it means you can donate a few quid, because I don't get funded for this. I get a bit of money from the advertising now, but the rest of it, I rely on you. So if you value free speech, if you're determined that the cultural Marxists of Starmer ilk aren't going to win, please contribute today. You can also do it by going to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. Accept no imitations. There's loads of tribute acts there doing a pale version of what I do. But this is the real stuff. And I've thought this through. Are you with me or against me? Let's take some comments. Star Taylor sent this in even before I started today on YouTube. Labour have turned us into a first-class hotbed and indeed cesspit, and has now drenched the few remaining working class to pay for it all. Brilliant point, my friend. Absolutely brilliant. And you're right. I agree with you 100%. Harvey Paul 007, he's got an obsession with me. John, do you still believe people should be forced to have the COVID jabs? IMAO. No, because it's obviously not the threat it was. Do I regret saying it at the time? No. Do I regret other things about COVID? Yes. Do I want to talk about it now? No. You're falling into the trap of the cultural Marxists, you thicko. But thank you. Let's move on. Mick Havermans 7319 on YouTube. Starmer is the most hated man in British history. He will never be able to walk the streets again. I think he's getting that way. I don't know where. I think there's quite a long list before him, but I know where you're coming from. But many people agree with him, my friend. Maverick 25-ish. YouTube, a lot of YouTube people today. Thank you. It's getting to the point where the English people are going to throw ethics out the window, and just take Starmer out. Yeah, come on. We can't encourage that, obviously. And I wouldn't want that to happen. I hate the bloke, but I don't want anyone to assassinate him or anything like that. So keep it down a bit. Keep it down. But the bottom line is he's not listening. He's not. That's all part of it. I've been for weeks thinking, well, he's not thick. He's a clever bloke. Why didn't you just stop the boats? Because he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to. That's why. Thanks for your comments, Maverick. Rosseth 22. One day he will fall. Not sure when, but one day he will fall. Well, I love the way you've got confidence in that. But at the moment, of course, he says he wants. That's the other thing as well. That's the other sure sign that he's a Marxist dictator. He's saying, I'm going to serve 10 years at least. Rachel Reeves says, I'll be the Chancellor today. I'll be the Chancellor on Monday. Well, I don't know whether she will, because I think he might chuck her under the bus. But even if he does, it's a diversion. She ain't the problem. It's the project that's the problem, isn't it? And that's the realization I've come to. I'm glad if you agree with me, I'm really pleased. But if you don't, I don't mind having the debate. Sunday afternoon, I should be just getting pissed, shouldn't I? But anyway, I'm ranting and raving with you. So come on, give me a few quid. Anything that's good is not free. Starmer is a dictator, says Pat Burnside. Oh, I like your picture. Is that Charles Autry? That's who it looks like. He proves that with every move that he makes, John. He's being paid and controlled by his Fabian masters, who are hell-bent on destroying Western civilization. I used to poo-poo that, Pat, but I'm not sure if it is them, but it's people like them. You are right. People who do not like our way of life. People who don't like the fact we wrap ourselves in our flag, that we're patriotic. They don't like it. They don't like it up on, that's for sure. Darren Hunt, you're not wrong. Thank you, Darren. I think you're correct. Craig Mawson, John, I'm sure he had all that has happened so far planned out. Well, that's really the point I'm saying, my friend. But thank you for your comments. I saw a man who's been asked to attend an interview about a meme he posted saying, "Fuck hey Hamas," says Denise Deacon. Oh, she's too polite to she spelt out the word. You know what I mean? You can see it on the screen. And if he doesn't, he'll be arrested. What the hell is going on? It definitely feels like a dictatorship to me and has done so for months now, says Denise. Yes, Denise. If you can't call Hamas murdering terrorists, scum, filth, bastards, whatever you want to call them, what's going on? They're not Democrats. You can call them whatever you want. You can't call Palestinians that. I can see the logic there. But if you're saying it was Hamas that they were criticising, it's totally out of order. But it's all part of the control. It's all part of working for the clampdown. And they're working against us. That's really the point I'm making, Denise. Thank you very much for your contribution today. Starmer is a very ignorant pig of a man. Who the hell wants to become a communist country? Get rid of him. Deport him, says Anth Pritchard. Yeah, where would we send him to? Have they closed down Devil's Island? You know where they sent Papillon? One of my favourite films of all time, by the way. Steve McQueen. Papillon, Papillon, we love you, Papillon, when he's marching through the town. Remember that bit? And what about that bit with Dustin Hoffman where he's got to time the waves coming in with his coconut raft before he jumps off the cliff? What a... Have you read the book? Oh, by the way, the book is outstanding. There's a follow-up which is called... is it called Banco or something like that? It's not as good. But absolutely. Papillon, the movie, is brilliant. Papillon, the book, is brilliant. And I'll tell you another one that's brilliant like that. Oh, God, John, remember what it's called. God, don't say things and then forget what it is. It's a book set in India, which they made a TV series of just recently, which was okay. It wasn't as good as the book. Shantaran, is it called? Have you read that book? It's massive. It's one of the best stories you've ever read. Bloke, bit of a hippie, goes from Australia, gets into... I won't go into the whole detail. It was about 750 pages long, but he ends up in prison and he ends up living there in the slums in Mumbai or Bombay or whatever it was at the time. If you've never read it, it's brilliant. Shantaran, but it's a big book. But my God, it rattles along. You'd love it. Alex Spicer, Trump's trying the same thing in the US. I don't think he's trying the same thing. I think he's doing the opposite, isn't he? But explain what you mean, Alex. Alex, I thought he was looking out for the legal citizens of the USA, says Darren Hunt. Thank you, Darren, for replying to him. John, I hope you're careful. If the police, they could be policing YouTube next for you telling the truth. Well, if that happens, it happens. I've always spoken my mind. I'm not going to censor myself. What have I got to lose? What have I got to lose? Jackal, I've lost it all already. There's something to do with Project 30 and the Fabian Society that Labour are working towards, says Denise Deacon. Globalisation. It definitely feels like it's coming to a realisation. I just think he's an out-and-out cultural Marxist. I just think he's got this view of the world which is not in kilter with any of us. I really do. That's where all this bullshit comes about. You know, don't be Christian. The girl with the Union flag dress in Nuneaton. You know, they're turning the blind eye to the mass rape of white girls in northern town. Well, not just in northern towns, it's happening in Coventry. Oh, according to Sadiq Khan, it doesn't happen in London. No. Anyway, let's move on. Denise, I've just done that one. Annette Locke, this government are truly from hell, but so are the rest of Parliament. Well said. It isn't just the Tory, Labour. They should be stood together fighting for this country, But instead, it's just about keeping reform out. That's what they're panicking about. You're right. None of them should be sat in that place. None but reform have any interest in this country. I think I would agree with most of that, Annette, although I thought Kemi Badenoch last week this week as it was brilliant. I thought the way she took apart Rachel Reeves was bang on the money. And on telly this morning, I watched her on Sky. I watched her on, excuse me, I got an itchy nose. I watched her on Sky. I watched her on the BBC. I think she's coming over as a good leader. Farage is still going to be the next Prime Minister. We all know that, don't we? Let's take some more. Rob Harding. There is usually only one way to remove a dictator, and this PM really does need to go, and we do not care how it's done. Rob, I understand the emotion, but I can't possibly back what you're suggesting, so please don't say things like that. I don't want to get banned for something that you've said, yeah? I don't agree with political violence. I've just got to say that, whoever it's against. I hate the bloke, but you don't do that. London Stan takes most of the blame, says Wizard Sleeve 6049. I know where you're coming from, mate, but I think you're falling into the trap. They want you to blame the Muslims. Blame anybody with a different colour skin. You're not a racist, but that's what they're trying to paint you as. So don't do it. Don't do it. Islamists, fanatical, idiots like that man the other day who basically said listening to music makes men homosexual. That reminded me of that. I think my mum made me a homosexual, and somebody had written on the toilet wall next to it, if I give her the wall, will she make me one too? Because it's just ludicrous, isn't it? Just ludicrous. But anyway, all part of the project, I think, my friend. Neil Myers, 605 on YouTube says, well said, John. Thank you. Heath Collinson on Facebook says, with you all the way. Annette Locke says, with you all the way on Facebook as well. If this is the first time you've listened to me, by the way, I am on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on YouTube. I've got a channel on YouTube called John Gaunt TV. Please go to it. Feel free to join. There was a little thing comes up saying, do you want to subscribe? The word subscribe makes people think you got to pay. You don't. It's completely free. It's just that if you subscribe, you'll always get told when I'm doing a show. Like today is an extra show. I did an extra one on Friday as well, because normally I just do Monday to Thursday, 6:30 in the evening. But it's going to 6 o'clock, by the way, from this Monday. But anyway, I normally do Monday to Thursday, but I always try and do an extra show at the weekend or two. So if you subscribe, you'll always get told. Plus, if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is called John Gaunt TV, you've got access to my archive of all my other videos. And there's nearly 200, well over 200 now. No, I think there's 1,000, but some of them are duplicates, you know what I mean? Anyway, go and have a look. Plus the fact the subscribers numbers are going through the roof. We've got over 6,000. Thank you for doing that. And the plays, we've got 1.9 million. I think we'll hit 2 million views very soon. All started in my back bedroom here, right? With my green screen behind me. And with the help of people like Adam, who bought me a couple of lights. Thank you, Adam. Thank you very much. And, of course, paid for with your donations. So if you'd like to donate, and no one's telling you have to, although I noticed nobody has today, if you'd like to, just click that $sign on the video now, or just below the video, and donate whatever you can afford, please. If you've got loads of cash, chuck in 100 quid. If you're short, just chuck in a couple of quid, whatever you can afford. It's a bit like an honesty box outside a little country cottage where I've put all my apples, and I'm saying, if you take some apples, put some money in, yeah? Let's see if you can do that. Plus, you could also do it by going to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. And if you do that, what happens is you get your name on this thing down here. That one. Where is it? No. Has that come up? No. Oh, don't know what's going on there. Hold on a minute. That's me being too clever. I was trying to show you a different way that you can, when you donate, I can actually get you to go on the list. There we are. There we are. There's all the names coming up. Okay. So thank you very much indeed for that. You get your name on the roll of honour. Annette Locke, that's enough of the adverts. Let's move on. If you'd like to support me, please do that now. John, you're talking sense. Thank you. Says Craig. Patriot Dan 1979 says we're paying the price for Tony Blair's guilty Fabian conscience. That's a bit heavy for me, mate. I don't really understand what that means, but thank you very much indeed for your comments. What's this say? He is dead, though. He died in 2013. Why do they have to use his face? Says Kimberly. I don't know what you're on about, Kimberly, but thank you very much. Richard Pope. Bloody hell, John. You are well on form today. I've been listening while cleaning the bathroom, and I've had great fun pretending to ram Starmer and Co down the toilet. Oh, lovely, mate, lovely. With me bog brush, along with your well-earned rant. Laugh out loud. Richard, that's a brilliant one. Thank you very much indeed. I hope you've managed to flush the shit away. Let's hope we can do that with the rest of it in this country very soon. Oh, by the way, thank you for your donations in the past. Billy No Mate 1606. In my opinion, the problem is that our own government is the enemy of the people. It's actively working to subjugate the nation's indigenous people. Billy, have you not been listening? That's what the whole bloody podcast is about, mate. But thank you for being on my side. Thank you. That's nice of you, Gary. Gary Martin on Twitter or X. He's reposted the stream. That's another way you can help. Likewise, at the end, when you see the videos, send the link to loads of other people. Get loads of other people watching it. Because my numbers should be better than they are. I just think people don't know that I'm back and that I'm here and that I'm the real thing. Not like these pale imitations. Oh, on the one hand is this, on the other hand is that. Bullshit rubbish. Sam G. Hart, 1996. We've been in dictatorship since early 2020. The Tories started all this with lockdown and vaccine nonsense, and Labour have only accelerated the state control. I'm not sure I agree with that, but then thanks for your comments. The reason he'll not stop the boats is because they are his potential electorate. Well, Chris, double F4DC, I'd probably agree with that. Where are we going next? David KT says, it's not those clowns on the front bench who run this country. It's those who you don't see, those who are never elected, who run the clown show, mate. I probably agree with you about that. Good one, John. The UK has become Devil's Island. Has anybody else picked up on me, Papillon? Yeah, Papillon, Papillon, we love you, we love you. Steve McQueen, what an actor. Is it in The Great Escape on the motorbike? Oh, isn't that brilliant? The British Fabian state breached the constitution and common law of the realm. Yeah, okay, Jones, but we don't know it is the Fabians. And it's kind of like, again, you're being distracted, in my opinion. You're still going, though, John. They can't take our minds, says Strawberry Atheist 2114. That's a nice way of expressing it. Thank you very much indeed. I hate this Labour government, or Labour government, it says here. Reform need a chance. So I'm voting Reform and for Ant Middleton for mayor before it's too late. Well, there's still some debate about whether he's going to be their candidate, isn't it? I've got to cut my beard, it's really irritating me today. Let's move on. Max Hallam, electoral registration is the source of their consent. Yeah, I think you might be right there. Get off the electoral register. It is your slave contract. I'm not sure I'll go that far, but again, Max, you're entitled to your opinion. Suzanne Jones, some people just make what if you just make a statement, but you don't really give the qualification for it, it's very hard to understand what you mean. It's called a hitman, says Suzanne Jones. If you're advocating violence, it's not going to happen on this show, right? Just use your bloody brains, for God's sake. Now we've got people saying it's all about a paedophile cult. We're going to be careful not to go down rabbit holes. Try and keep on the subject if you can. Starmer and Reeves are doing the WAF's bidding. Well, is it them? Who knows? John, I say be careful. Police could be policing YouTube. Well, they are already, because we don't want you to be receiving the Lucy Connolly treatment. Thank you, Craig. Yeah, just on that subject, I was going to mention Lucy Connolly. I think I mentioned her in passing, but there's another story today about local authorities too, where they're training local council people to be drone pilots so they can put drones up And they reckon this is going to be, the drones will be used for things like fly tipping. Most people would agree with that if they could clamp down on that. But it's also, they're going to use it, for electric cars, because they've had this idea, haven't they? You've got an electric car, you're going to pay by the mile. So somebody then asked the Bright Spark, whatever her name is, Hilda somebody, blonde-haired woman, thick as pig shit. She said, they said, well, how are you going to make sure people pay? And she said, we haven't worked that out yet. We've got a year to work that out. But I'll tell you how they'll do it. It'll be drones. And they'll do that for loads of stuff. I worry about it. We're already living in a surveillance society, aren't we? That's this thing about the ID cards. I didn't even get into this today, but it's part of the same debate if you want to join in now. He's mad keen on getting these digital IDs, isn't he? He's so mad keen. He's stolen, this is Starmer, 1.8, you might have missed this in the budget, 1.8 billion pounds from the Home Office, which was there for border security to stop the flip-flop warriors. He's nicked that money and he's paying it out on ID cards, even though no one wants them. Even his own cabinet, his own party don't want it. Nobody wants the digital ID card. Starmer's pushing on with it. Why? Well, because he wants to be able to know what you're up to, how many bits of toilet roll you're using in case it's ecologically unfriendly. He also, have you got a log fire? Oh, the Gestapo will be in. I'm taking that away next. Or he also wants it because he doesn't want to control the flip-flop warriors. He doesn't. Why would you take 1.8 billion, by the way, over the next 3 years out of protecting your borders? Why would you do that? Unless you wanted to flood the country with illegals. I can't see any logical reason. And no one is the rest of us aren't going to consent, are we? I ain't having one. They already know too much about you. Like I just told you about this chat GPT thing. The things they know. I've been getting bugged by, well, I've got to be careful what I say here. They keep sending me texts. I've blocked the number, but then they come up with another number. That's got to be illegal. I am getting really fed up of being treated like, I'm not a number. It's like the prisoner, isn't it? Stephen Parslow, 7964. It's you. Get back on the radio. Well, if somebody gave me a job, I would, but I'm not being offered any jobs. I'm too good. Miss you. Not bloody. It's you. Don't know what that means, but thank you very much indeed. Max Hallam, he's really off on a conspiracy rant. Revoke your legal consent by removing your name from the current electoral register. Live tax-free. Freedom for tooting. We're off to a meeting with the Labour councillor tomorrow. Should be fun. They ran off last time, says Annette Locke. Thank you very much indeed. Leon Tails, 7251. Lovely to see you again. Glad to see the Cliff Richards fans didn't get to you. God, that's a long time ago when we used to wind up Cliff and the Cliff fans. And, of course, Cliff came on the programme. Do you remember that? I can't even remember which radio station I was on when that was on. By the way, I'm just going to be straight with you now. No one's donated any money. Why? Are you that? I know it's tough. I know times are tough, but surely you'd donate a few quid. Just click the little padlock and I'll mention your name. You'll be the first one to do it today. Or go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. Beginning of the month. You must have just been paid. Am I begging? Yes. Let's go. Move on. Ray, I've got to stop in a minute, by the way. How many minutes have you had? How many minutes have you had? I can't even see the clock. Oh, there it is. 49 minutes, 24 seconds. Right, for nothing. Ministers change with minimal notice. One day a backbencher, but then in charge of transport, or Home Secretary 1 week, then swapping to Foreign Secretary. No training, no experience. Obviously, the decisions are being made by overpaid and self-serving civil servants with no accountability. That's exactly what happens, Ray. That's why I thought Farage's idea, and Trump's done it as well, are bringing in experts from outside to run these departments is not a bad idea. Because at the moment, when you vote, no matter which party you vote for, the government always get in, don't they? The civil service. Why don't the boat people get tagged when they arrive? Well, at the moment, they don't even have to have a medical. They don't even have to prove what age they are. They don't even have to prove where they've come from. Oh, I lost my passport. Because it's nonsense. That's why. Because Starmer doesn't give a shit. Because those things you'd sort straight away. Keep saying it. Navy in the Channel, Army on the beach. Somebody turns up, they go straight to a detention centre. What? You've got no passport, you can't prove where you're from, you won't tell us how old you are, you won't have a medical. Okay. Off to, I was going to say Guantanamo Bay, but similar. Off you go to Ascension Island. We're going to process you over there. Oh, you have got some of those things, right? We'll process you in this country, but you're going to stay in this secure unit. What? You mean like a prison? Well, it's not really a prison because you're not going to be locked in cells, but you're not going to be able to go outside the army camp because we can't have you walking into town because some of you, not all of you, some of you have raped women or committed dreadful crimes. We can't have it. We've got to protect our people first. I'm sure you understand. Well, you don't understand. You don't want that. Okay. Stelios, jocks away. Send them back. Dead simple. Meanwhile, all the ones we've already got in hotels, out of the hotels, into army camps. If there's not enough barracks, put up army tents like we do when a place gets flooded or whatever, and we send the relief. We send our boys to sort it out. That's where we put them. Look after them properly, process them quickly, because don't forget, there shouldn't be that many there anyway. That's all down to the Conservatives. But you've got to deter them. So you've got to turn the tap off, right, at source, but you've got to then deal with the people we've got now. So tagging them might be part of that. Might be part of that. Ollie O says, strike action, stop the funding of our downfall. Thank you. Gary Spencer says, good afternoon, people. Good afternoon. Where are we going next? These people could be bringing in diseases. They should all be put in quarantine. It's common sense. Well, I don't know about quarantine, but they certainly should have a full medical before they're allowed to stay in the country. Of course they should. Right, well, that's me finished. But I think it's all by design. I think he's trying to demoralise us and therefore defeat us. So we all give in and say, that's not worth arguing. Shut up, John. You don't need to go on about migrants again. Leave it out. And then meanwhile, this weekend, he's probably breathing a sigh of relief because she's getting all the stick, isn't she? Huh? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Max Hallam, he's really gone off on one today. He says, oh, well, you can lead a horse to water. Bye, Max. Just because you believe something, Max, doesn't mean everybody else will. And if you're so intent on talking about it, set up a channel. I'll come and have a watch. Fraser Ford has put his thumb up. Thank you, Fraser, for that. Right, I'm stopping now. Thank you. Don't forget what I said. Please join John Gaunt TV on YouTube. Just go there now and do that. It'll ask you, do you want to subscribe? Say yes. It doesn't cost anything. If you'd like to donate some money, which no one has been, feel free to just put the click on the $sign and donate whatever you can afford, or go to www.buymeacoffee.com/John Gaunt. That's polite. Blue Angel 10 says thank you. That's good of you. Den Spinks has put his thumb up. Thank you. And then somebody here, Danny, Tomo and Ryan from Raise the Colours have stopped more boats than the UK government. Yeah, I know. I admire what they're doing, but it's not the answer, is it? Because the whole point is we should have a government that represents the people. And that's what we haven't got. And we'll finish with Lawrence, who says all of these policies from Labour are communist traits. Thank you. I'll be back tomorrow at 6, though. Remember, I'm changing the times on the Monday to Thursday show to 6. Means I'll definitely watch EastEnders each night. That's not really the reason. I just think pulling it back won't hurt it. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you have got kids, give them a kiss. Give them a hug. Hey. Don't forget to tell them you love them. And I'll speak to you soon. All the best. Don't forget my name, John Gaunt. Join my YouTube and get on Twitter and Facebook and donate some cash. Cheers. Bye.